Socrates. Even his name echoes through time. He wasn't a king, a conqueror, or a ruler of vast lands. He was a philosopher. Now I know what you're thinking. Philosophy? Sounds dull. But trust me, Socrates was anything but. Imagine a man, a bit rough around the edges, wandering the bustling marketplace of ancient Athens, peppering people with questions. That was Socrates. He didn't claim to have all the answers. In fact, he often said the only thing he knew was that he knew nothing. Socrates wasn't interested in lecturing. He believed in drawing out the truth through relentless questioning. This technique, the Socratic Method, became his trademark. Think of him as a philosophical gadfly, buzzing around, prodding and provoking thought wherever he went. His life, his ideas, his very existence changed how we think. So buckle up, dear reader, as we delve into the world of Socrates, the Gadfly of Athens, and discover why his legacy continues to resonate with us today. We don't know a great deal about Socrates' early life. He left no written works, you see. What we do know comes from his students, most famously Plato. Imagine a young Socrates, not yet the renowned philosopher, but a stonemason, perhaps, carving out a living in the heart of Athens. Athens, in its golden age, was a vibrant hub of democracy, art, and of course philosophy. Socrates, though a man of the people, found himself drawn to the marketplace of ideas. He was a natural conversationalist, engaging anyone and everyone in debate. Picture him amidst the cacophony of the marketplace, engaging a pompous politician in a discussion about justice, or a wealthy merchant about the true meaning of happiness. Socrates had this uncanny ability to expose flawed logic and hypocrisy. This unwavering commitment to his beliefs would ultimately lead to his downfall, but it would also cement his place as one of history's most influential thinkers. Now let's talk about Socrates' claim to fame. The Socratic Method. Imagine yourself in a lively discussion with Socrates. He's not the type to lecture or preach. No, he prefers a different approach, one based on questions, and lots of them. He starts with a simple question, perhaps about courage or justice. You, eager to impress the great philosopher, offer a confident answer. But Socrates, with a twinkle in his eye, poses another question, then another and another, each one challenging your assumptions, forcing you to think deeper. This is the essence of the Socratic Method. It's about asking probing questions to expose contradictions, to challenge preconceived notions, and to ultimately arrive at a more profound understanding. It's a method that encourages intellectual humility, acknowledging that we don't have all the answers, but that through rigorous questioning, we can get closer to the truth. Socrates wasn't just about asking questions, he had some pretty strong beliefs himself. He believed in the pursuit of knowledge, in the importance of virtue, and in the power of reason to guide our actions. But for Socrates, knowledge wasn't about memorizing facts or figures, it was about understanding oneself, about examining one's values and beliefs. He believed that true wisdom began with acknowledging one's own ignorance. The unexamined life is not worth living, he famously said. Socrates challenged the traditional Athenian emphasis on wealth, power, and social status. He argued that true happiness and fulfillment came not from external possessions, but from cultivating virtue. These ideas, radical in their time, would go on to influence generations of philosophers and thinkers, shaping the course of Western thought. Section 5, the trial of Socrates, Accusations and Defense. Picture this: Athens, 399 BC. Socrates, by now a well-known figure, is put on trial. The charges: corrupting the youth and impiety, essentially not believing in the gods of Athens. Now, these accusations were pretty flimsy, politically motivated, some might say. Socrates, with his relentless questioning and his challenging of authority, had ruffled a few too many feathers. His trial was a major public event. Imagine the scene: a jury of 500 Athenian citizens, the air thick with anticipation. Socrates, true to form, chose to defend himself. He could have pleaded for mercy, acknowledged some wrongdoing, but that wasn't Socrates' style. Instead, he used his trial as a platform to defend his life's work, his philosophy. But the Athenian jury, perhaps swayed by political pressures or simply unwilling to tolerate Socrates' unconventional views, found him guilty. Section 6, the death of a philosopher, Hemlock and Immortality. The guilty verdict sent shockwaves through Athens. Socrates, the man who had dedicated his life to the pursuit of truth and virtue, was sentenced to death. his punishment death by hemlock poisoning. Even facing his own mortality, Socrates remained true to his principles. He refused to escape when given the chance, arguing that it was his duty to abide by the laws of Athens, even if those laws were unjust. Imagine the scene: Socrates, surrounded by his grieving students, calmly accepting his fate. He drinks the hemlock, engaging in philosophical discussions until the very end. His death was a profound moment, a testament to the power of conviction and the importance of staying true to one's beliefs, even in the face of death. His ideas, preserved and disseminated by his students, would go on to have a profound and lasting impact on Western civilization. Section 7. Socrates' enduring legacy, a philosophical giant. Socrates may have left no written works, but his influence on philosophy is undeniable. He is considered the father of Western philosophy, the progenitor of a long line of thinkers who would shape the intellectual landscape of the West. His emphasis on reason, his questioning of authority, and his commitment to ethical living laid the foundation for philosophical inquiry for centuries to come. Plato, Socrates' most famous student, was profoundly influenced by his teacher. He immortalized Socrates in his dialogues, using his teacher's life and teachings as a springboard for his own philosophical explorations. Through Plato, Socrates' ideas spread throughout the ancient world, influencing Stoicism, Epicureanism, and countless other schools of thought. His life and teachings offer a timeless blueprint for living a meaningful and ethical life, a life guided by reason, compassion, and a relentless pursuit of knowledge. Section 8. The Socratic Method in Action, Examples and Applications. The Socratic Method isn't some dusty relic of the past. It's a vibrant, dynamic tool that's as relevant today as it was in ancient Athens. It's used in classrooms, courtrooms, boardrooms, and even in our everyday conversations. Imagine a teacher guiding her students through a complex problem, not by providing answers, but by asking a series of carefully crafted questions. The students, through this process of guided inquiry, discover the answers for themselves. The Socratic Method is a powerful tool for critical thinking, for problem solving, and for fostering deeper understanding. It encourages active listening, challenges assumptions, and promotes intellectual humility. Section 9. Socrates' influence on Western thought, from Plato to modernity. Socrates' impact on Western thought is like a ripple effect, spreading outward from ancient Athens, influencing generations of philosophers, writers, and thinkers. Plato, his devoted student, built upon Socrates' ideas, developing a comprehensive philosophical system that explored metaphysics, ethics, politics, and more. Through Plato, Socrates' influence flowed into the Roman world, shaping the thoughts of Cicero, Seneca, and Marcus Aurelius. The Renaissance saw a renewed interest in classical thought, and Socrates' ideas found fertile ground in the writings of humanists like Erasmus and Montaigne. The Enlightenment, with its emphasis on reason and individual liberty, owed a great debt to Socrates' legacy. Socrates' influence continues to this day, inspiring contemporary philosophers, educators, and anyone who values critical thinking, ethical living, and the pursuit of truth. Section 10. The relevance of Socrates today, wisdom for the ages. Now you might be thinking, okay, Socrates sounds like an interesting chap, but what's he got to do with me? Well, dear reader, more than you might realize. We live in a world saturated with information, bombarded by opinions and ideologies. It's easy to feel overwhelmed, to passively accept what we're told, to lose sight of our own critical thinking skills. This is where Socrates comes in. His emphasis on self-examination, on questioning assumptions, on thinking for ourselves is more relevant than ever. Socrates' belief in the importance of virtue, of living an ethical and examined life, offers a timeless guide in a world often driven by self-interest and material gain. Section 11. Conclusion. Socrates, a timeless inspiration. So there you have it, a glimpse into the life and legacy of Socrates, the Gadfly of Athens. He wasn't a traditional sage dispensing wisdom from on high. No, Socrates was a man of the people, engaging in lively debates in the marketplace, challenging conventional wisdom and urging everyone to examine their beliefs. His life and his death serve as a powerful testament to the enduring power of ideas, the importance of intellectual integrity, and the courage to stand up for what you believe in, even in the face of adversity. So, the next time you find yourself pondering life's big questions, remember the Gadfly of Athens. And don't be afraid to ask, to question, to think for yourself. For